This was my wedding night, and I was in the house of my sworn enemy. That's when the servant walked straight into the room without permission. He was completely convinced that this arrogant girl would never even touch someone as ordinary and rejected as me, since I was just a means to a nominal marriage. But he had no idea what he was about to see the moment he stepped inside. That proud woman was sleeping peacefully in my arms. Suddenly, the room's red light flickered on. My eyes weren't even fully open yet when a small, delicate hand immediately covered them. "Who gave you permission to come here?" "Grandma did." "Leave this place now." Torn Mok Chu raised his head. "Miss, are you going against Grandma's orders? Your noise has disturbed my husband's sleep." Saying this, she curled back up next to me. Torn Mok Chu's face twisted with jealousy and anger. "Miss, Grandma sent me to change the bed sheets." Annoyed by his harsh voice, I irritably tightened my arms around her. Following my habit, I turned and pulled that soft body closer to me in my embrace. Suddenly, my eyes flew open and I was immediately alert. Who am I? Where am I? And who is this woman? "I'm sorry." She helplessly sat up. "The servants in this house have no manners. Because of them, your sleep was disturbed." How could this woman's voice be so sweet? I felt a shiver run through my body. But wait, last night's memories slowly came back to me. My father had forced me to drink alcohol, and afterward, people carried me here. My memories after that only went as far as a woman, and everything became hazy. What could an ordinary and weak person do? He couldn't create any commotion. "Miss, Grandma told me—" She hadn't finished speaking before I interrupted. "What do you think, that nothing happened between us last night, that we were just sleeping in our own places?" The very next moment, she stood up straight. "Now, do you have anything else to say?" Everyone in the room understood everything. Looking at the evidence, Torn Mok Chu is completely broken. This can't be. This absolutely can't be. Miss is known for her indifference and cold temperament. How could she have willingly embraced someone, and that too this ordinary and unknown man? Now that you've seen everything, change the bed sheets quickly. There's no place in my house for useless people. Finally, silence fell over the room again. I held my head in my hands. The woman sitting next to me smiled and looked at me with her head tilted. "What happened? Did you forget everything from last night?" I thought for a while and finally accepted the reality. Whatever happened, I will take responsibility. Seeing me lost in thought and barely able to speak, her mood improved considerably. She pulled me back onto the bed. Without any suspicion, I stepped back slightly, and I saw a beautiful smile on her face as she moved closer to me. "How will you take responsibility for me? Even if your family sent you here, looking at the current situation, shouldn't I be the one taking responsibility for you?" She gently tapped her chin with her finger. Her way of thinking was beautiful. Then her small face slowly came closer to mine. "You should have had me thrown out a while ago." Her enchanting laughter was making me restless and embarrassed. I was trying to move away from her, and I didn't realize I had reached the very edge of the bed. My balance wavered, and I started falling backwards. At that moment, she quickly reached out her hand and caught me. We both fell together on the carpet laid beside the bed. The distance between us suddenly disappeared, and our noses were about to touch. I felt my heart would leap out of my chest. I panicked and tried to move away, but there was a mischievous smile in her eyes. At that moment, I was completely helpless and lay still beneath her. She laughed softly against my chest. After a while, she got up, took my hand, and pulled me up. "Silly, I didn't do anything with you last night. Whatever happened just now was because I knew Grandma would try to trap me. That's why I planned everything in advance. Did you really think something happened between us?" I scratched my head. Embarrassed, I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't understand the situation." But inside, I felt a great relief. It's good that nothing happened. Now I don't have to take any responsibility. Or do you think our being together like this might create misunderstandings among people? Her style was truly captivating. "Your father has finalized the deal with me, so from now on, you'll be under me for some time." Hearing this, my heart sank. I had always silently endured everything, beatings, pain, everything. But in the end, I was sent here anyway. My heart felt completely heavy. "In the coming days, I'll protect you. Just stay with me and be my husband." I don't want that. I want to live by working hard on my own. I have my own limits. I don't want to depend on anyone else for my safety. What are you thinking? I just asked you to pretend to be my husband in front of my grandma. I promise nothing will happen between us unless you want it. Are you telling the truth? A woman like me never lies. If that's the case, can you pay my college fees? She was surprised. Are you still studying? Yes, I just passed the university entrance exam. Which university, and what's your subject? I answered proudly, West University Electronics Engineering Department. Lang He was genuinely surprised. She thought for a while and then said, "Okay, I'll handle all the difficulties related to your studies." Hearing this, my heart leapt with joy and I felt relieved. I finally could go to college and learn what I loved. This woman in front of me had brightened my entire world. At this moment, I let go of all my resentment towards her, and my heart filled with gratitude. I promised her sincerely, "I will definitely cooperate with you fully and won't create any difficulties for you." But Kong Hee shook her head upon hearing this. "That won't work. I don't like you being this straightforward. The world easily troubles people who are too straightforward. Being too simple isn't right. But since childhood, my grandma always told me that I'm not lovable, that I can only win people's hearts by staying in my place. My husband doesn't need to bow down to anyone. Remember this. Next time you face others, show your true self. And be careful of that servant, Torn Mok Chu, in the family home. Okay, now rest. Good night, my Mr. So." I lay down quietly. Whether because of being so close to her or because of that Mr. So name, my ears immediately felt warm. "Don't move, just sleep quietly." "But you just said I don't need to be too straightforward." So Chong Kalong Hee sighed helplessly and stroked my hair. "I taught you something and you're using it against me already. Mischievous." I closed my eyes and prepared myself for a long night ahead, but the very next moment I fell into a deep sleep. The next day, when the sun was already high, I sat up on the bed. Recalling last night's events, everything seemed like a dream. I was really sharing a bed with a woman and had agreed to be her fake husband. You really sleep very deeply. Seeing the mark on the bed, that servant froze in place. The hatred in his eyes had now turned into jealousy. I quickly got down from the bed. "Good morning. Thank you for coming to wake me up. I don't have any problem with it." "Now that you've become the son-in-law of this house, Mr. So, it's your first day of marriage, and according to the family rules, the new groom has to personally take soup to the dining table." I freshened up and went to the kitchen. Soup was boiling there, but something felt strange. There was no cloth or gloves in the entire kitchen to hold hot utensils. "Why don't you take it? It's very hot. If you can't take it, get out of this house. That's the rule here." Just as I was about to give in, I remembered her words. The world easily troubles people who are too straightforward. I suddenly raised my head. "Serving soup is the servant's work. You should do it." "What do you think, that just by stepping into this house you've become everyone's boss?" He had found out everything about my background. Kong Lang He and I were just pretending, so I had to endure it so that the truth about last night wouldn't come out. Nothing had happened between us. Seeing me silent, Don Mok Chu thought I was scared and became even more dominant. "Pick up this soup quietly." I was about to obey as usual when Kong Lang He's voice echoed in my ears. "My husband doesn't need to bow down to anyone. I won't pick it up." "If your hand gets burned." Don Mok Chu suddenly grabbed my wrist. He started forcibly pulling my hand toward that hot vessel. Now everything was over. Was he really going to burn my hand? "You're just a pawn in name. What do you think, that Miss really considers you her husband?" Suddenly, a painful scream echoed. Don Mok Chu had been showing arrogance, was now stopped by Tansong using her strength. His face had turned white with fear. Despite this, there was clear hatred in his eyes for me. I couldn't help but furrow my brows. "Tansong, are you okay?" When I shook my head in refusal, she looked at Torn Mok Chu with extremely cold eyes. "Tansong." Tansong released Torn Mok Chu without any expression. "Miss, this is Grandma's man. His hands aren't clean. Send him back." Tansong's voice had no feelings, but secretly she was happy. "Mr. Torn, please leave." Torn Mok Chu looked at Tansong with anger. "I won't go back." He fell to the floor. I looked down. His hand was on my waist, and I felt a strange warmth in my body. People like this are actually this weak. I worked so hard to gain Grandma's trust so I could come here and keep an eye on Kong Lang He. If I'm thrown out, everything will be over. I'll be thrown out of this house. No, I can't accept this defeat. "Miss, if you send me back, Grandma will fire me." "I know, but what does that have to do with me?" "By the way, you said something earlier, didn't you? You said, 'I don't consider Ton as your husband,' isn't that right?" Outside, people say that the eldest daughter of the family has a temperament that changes every moment. She's very stubborn and always does what she wants. There were also many rumors about her days abroad. "Miss, I'm Grandma's man. You have no right to throw me out." Seeing his behavior, my body involuntarily shriveled. "Are you afraid of me?" I didn't know myself, but I could feel the danger emanating from within her. I remembered something from childhood when I had a cat. Once, when a dog was bothering her, I chased the dog away with a stick. After that, the cat would always hide when she saw me. Later, she became Grandma's pet and went to them for affection. She raised her head and looked at my face. Perhaps there's a hidden hunter within this gentle woman. I will never make the same mistake twice. I felt her gaze, lowered my head, and looked straight at Kong Lang He. There was no fear or begging in my eyes, just a strange confusion. Her heart raced for a moment. I stood silently. She rose slightly on her toes and gently touched my cheek. Kong Lang He's face turned slightly red. I realized that this man who had suddenly come into my life was far more special than I had thought. Not only could he calm my anger, but being with him gave me a strange sense of peace. Maybe I was truly falling in love with him. If he was willing to stay with me sincerely, I would cherish this relationship forever. Just then, Manhwa called Kong Lang He on video. "Are you coming tonight? My sister is back. She brought a great bottle of wine and said we'll open it tonight. Will you come?" Manhwa looked at Kong Lang He teasingly. "You've really changed a lot." Kong Lang He smiled and hung up. Then she casually asked me, "Are you afraid of me?" I lowered my head and didn't know what to answer. I wasn't stupid, I knew what Kong Lang He wanted to hear, but still I couldn't stop myself from asking, "Is it necessary for me to tell the truth?" Kong Lang He laughed at this and held my hand. "What happened? Do you still want to lie to me?" I was really starting to like this man. Keeping him with me wasn't bad, but the condition was that he shouldn't be like that cat. I was afraid. Should I give this fool another chance or not? For a moment, cold silence filled the depths of her eyes, but the next moment, I stepped forward and firmly held her small hand. "I'll try my best not to be afraid of you from now on." Kong Lang He was surprised for a moment. "He's afraid of me, but will try not to be afraid." What kind of answer was that? Seeing her silent for a long time, I thought maybe she was angry. "I know you're helping me, and I'm very grateful, but there are many things I've never experienced before. I need your guidance. I'll try my best to play the role of a good son-in-law. Please don't be angry, miss." Kong Lang He hugged me. The warmth of my breath melted all her tension in an instant. "Would you like to go out tonight?" she suddenly asked. At that moment, nothing else came to my mind. I realized that whenever I was close to Kong He, my brain stopped working. But I didn't hate this feeling, perhaps because her embrace made me feel so safe. After a few minutes, the changing room door opened. Seeing so many expensive clothes in the closet, I was completely shocked. "Choose whatever you want for yourself. Take your time selecting. I'll come back to get you in a while." She said this and left, but her steps were slightly faster than usual and her heartbeat had quickened. Kong Lang He wasn't taking me to some formal party. It was just a small gathering of friends at Inner's club. Coming back to the changing room door, there was hope on her face. Even though all those clothes in the room had been arranged in a hurry and she hadn't selected them herself, she was confident that whatever Ton wore, he would look handsome. However, seeing the scene inside the room, she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I was sitting sadly on the sofa. As soon as I heard the door open, I turned around and looked at her helplessly. "Didn't you like any of these?" Ton-song, wait a moment. I lowered my head in disappointment. "Thank you, miss. All these clothes are beautiful and I really like them." She slowly came closer to me and asked with great love, "Then why didn't you wear any of them?" I became even more uncomfortable. "I'm not deserving of such wonderful clothes. I'm not worthy of them." Kong Lang He furrowed her brows. "Not worthy? Who were those people who raised you with this kind of thinking? Who told you that you're not worthy? Did grandma say that?" The truth is that everyone in my house had taught me this since childhood. My grandmother, my father, and even Aunt Dong. They all always told me that I wasn't worthy of the good things in the world. They said a man should be strong on his own and doesn't need these external and superficial things. So from childhood, I convinced myself that I should always listen to everyone and keep others happy. I never considered myself worthy of expensive things. That's why I never competed for anything with self-confidence. If a handsome man like you isn't worthy of these clothes, then no one in this world is worthy of wearing them. You deserve them. If not you, then who? "Thank you, miss. I understand." "No, you don't understand anything. You look so handsome and your nature is so good. You're so handsome that I fell in love with you at first sight." Kong Lang He wanted to say all these things to me, but she knew well that the inferiority complex deeply embedded in my mind due to years of pressure wouldn't disappear with just a few words, and she wasn't good at making such filmy romantic statements, so she remained silent. "Try this on." She smiled and asked me. After I nodded, Kong Lang He sensibly turned around. "Do you like it?" "Which one?" "Mrs. Choice is very good. This dress is very comfortable and clean. It's a style I've never worn before, but my grandmother always said that if I wore such fitted clothes, I would look very bad. She said no matter what I wore, I could never look like a prince." I didn't want to hear such things about myself from Kong Lang He's mouth, so I made an excuse and said I'd go to the side room to change my clothes. "The dark-colored t-shirt you came wearing is already dirty, and no one brought your regular clothes here." Saying this, she took my hand and led me to the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and see how handsome you look. She wasn't very good at complimenting people. Saying this, hesitation was clear on her face. I looked at the mirror and stared in surprise at the person I saw there. Meanwhile, her eyes were fixed on me. She was beautiful and was looking at my reflection in the mirror with great seriousness. Could she really believe that I was worthy of all this? Thinking this, my attention turned to myself and a slight smile appeared on my face. For the first time, I felt that I was truly worthy of these clothes that Miss had chosen for me. Miss, can you help me select shoes too? Konglong-hee rose slightly on her toes and gave a small kiss on my cheek. This is my thank you gift for helping me anything. No one else in this world has the courage to make me do things like this. But when she saw me covering my cheek in surprise, she burst out laughing. By the time everything was set, night had fallen, but Konglong-hee wasn't in a hurry. She had even called a hairstylist through Ton-sung to set my hair. Miss, everything is done. Konglong-hee looked up from her computer, and when she saw me fully ready, a surprising spark appeared in her eyes. Ton, you look very handsome. I don't know why, but whenever Konglong-hee praised me, everything she said started feeling true. Before this, whenever Hua Ching-kit's birthday came, a stylist would always come to set his hair, and he would wear expensive customized suits. I could only watch from a distance and wish for such things. Ton, let's go. The clothes and shoes Miss had chosen for me were very classic, and my car was very impressive. I shouldn't have these high dreams, or people would start hating me. I kept reminding myself of this. Lost in these thoughts, I couldn't hear Konglong-hee's words properly. Don't go too close to that Manhwa girl over there. As soon as we opened the VIP room door, Inner was opening a champagne bottle. In an instant, the champagne foam splashed directly onto Konglong-hee's clothes, and she was completely soaked. Long-hee, you're here? Konglong-hee supported me, and I sat on the side sofa. Who gave this low-capacity woman so much alcohol? Getting her this drunk is a talent in itself. The guests present were watching Konglong-hee's clothes get ruined, but no one dared to say anything. Should I have stood directly in front of her at that moment? What should I do now? I quickly took off my coat, stepped forward, and put it on her shoulders. My decision was quick, and after doing my part, I immediately moved aside and stood there. A woman sitting in a corner of the room laughed loudly. Is this the new pet of the family's eldest daughter? Konglong-hee furrowed her brows, but she didn't retaliate. She just turned once to look at me. I pretended I hadn't heard anything and stood quietly in a corner. Mon-kyu, you're crossing the line now. She wanted to make me sit next to her, but I gently moved her hand away. Konglong-hee wasn't angry at being ignored like this. Instead, her eyes were fixed on me, and this time there was a different scrutiny in them. So the family's eldest daughter likes this type of woman now. Konglong-hee looked at her but didn't answer, but her face had become serious now. She took my hand and made me sit in the very center of the sofa. She ordered fresh juice for me instead of alcohol. This is completely fresh juice. You're a man but don't know how to drink. I didn't expect her to talk to me. I was stunned for a moment. Hello, I don't know how to drink. When Mom Q looked closely at my face, she made a strange face at Konglong-hee. Such a handsome man falls into your hands? This is a complete waste. I panicked and wanted to clear up this misunderstanding, but Mong Q's complete attention was now on me. Me and Konglong-hee are the same age, and we've been rivals since childhood. We always had to outdo each other in everything, whether it was topping in school, winning gold medals in sports, getting scholarships, or big business projects. We never accepted defeat in front of each other. Now my attention was fixed on that boy standing next to Kong-hee. In all the previous battles, I had always appeared weak in front of Konglong-hee, but seeing this simple and innocent boy, a desire arose within me to take him away from Konglong-hee. Mon Q looked at me and said, "You finally managed to bring someone out with you. Aren't you going to introduce him?" Konglong-hee sighed coldly. "Fine, this is my fiancé." Saying this, she very naturally took my hand. Everyone present was stunned for a moment. After that, sounds of surprise echoed in the room. "Try him," a jealous voice came from somewhere. Lawyer tried to keep himself calm and picked up his fallen glasses. Ma Q Tayu put his hand on his chest and consoled himself. Inner furrowed her brows and the smell of alcohol was coming from her mouth. Mon Q already had an idea about this, so she looked at her younger sister sympathetically. Even Mon Q herself was surprised to hear this, and without thinking, the challenge slipped out of her mouth. "Someone like you can have a fiancé?" She completely ignored Konglong-hee's worsening face. "Did he force you? Tell me, I'll get you justice." The next moment, Konglong-hee angrily pulled me toward her and whispered in my ear, "What did I tell you in the car? Did you forget everything?" My mind was completely numb at that moment. Forgetting was out of the question. The truth is that I hadn't heard anything she said. I slowly realized that perhaps I had made a big mistake. "I'll go to the washroom." I panicked and quickly left. Konglong-hee looked at my back and a slight smile appeared on her face. Seeing this, Mong Q made a face in annoyance and the room door closed. Mong Q taunted Konglong-hee. "This kind of acting looks too strange. Don't embarrass yourself further."
For the first time among childhood friends raised together, Kong Long Hee was truly very angry, but Mong Q, pursing her red lips, said, "Embarrassing? Let's just see if you give me any chance to prove myself or not." I had no idea about this. After I left, Kong Long Hee had almost gotten into a fight with Mong Q to protect me. I reached the washroom. For the past few days, I had been feeling very weak. My head was spinning and my mental condition was not good. This problem had probably started when Kong Long Hee first came close to me, or maybe I had caught this illness after that first night's meeting. "Miss, what's the point of hiding this now? There are no outsiders here." I didn't know many people here, but this voice was very familiar to me. It was Hua Ching Kit. "Tomorrow's your engagement, right?" "Yes, that's why before the engagement, I want to fully enjoy this last moment of my bachelor life." Hua liked Aunt In Hyun's daughter, so what was he doing here? Was I mistaken? I clenched my fists, held my breath, and slowly moved towards the washroom cabin. But as I got closer, the ground slipped under my feet. I tried to cover my mouth, but my surprising scream couldn't be stopped. "Who's there?" I wanted to turn and run, but the cabin door opened forcefully. Hua Ching Kit was just about to reach me. "What are you doing here?" Hua Ching Kit shouted, and there was clear hatred and anger for me in his eyes. "Do you know this person? He's just an ordinary and worthless boy." "Miss Chu, don't worry, he won't dare to tell anyone about tonight. But this boy looks quite good. Chu Mongdi really should have liked me, but seeing this boy, she got attracted to him instead. This always happens. This is the same boy I've always kept suppressed, and today he keeps ruining my plans." "Miss Yu, you wanted to try something new these days, right? What a coincidence. Would you like to try him?" I didn't fully understand what they were saying, but Chu Mengdi's gaze made my hair stand up. I told myself I needed to be brave. Just past the corner of the corridor is the VIP room where Kong Long Hee is. If I reached her, I'd be safe. Ju Mengdi reached out her hand. I stepped aside to protect myself. Ju Mengdi shouted angrily, "Chacket, come forward and catch him." I stepped back. I immediately remembered the moves that Tan Sung had taught me, and I tripped him and made him fall to the ground. This was the first time I had stood up against someone's oppression. My heart was beating very fast. My blood was boiling. I ran with all my might towards the exit. My breath was ragged, and there was a strange bitterness in my throat. Only one thought was running through my mind. "Come on, endure a little more. Just reach Kong Long Hee once." "Very good. You have the courage to go against me?" At that moment, I felt I wouldn't escape this trouble. Old memories flashed through my mind like lightning, but finally those memories stopped at Kong Long Hee's face, that woman who had chosen clothes for me. My heart wished that she would choose clothes for me once again with her own hands. I made a wish that felt childish even to me. Suddenly, darkness fell before me, but the pain I expected didn't come. My head hit directly against Mon Q's hand. She looked at Hua Ching Kit and Ju Mongdi, then security guards grabbed them by the collar and dragged them out. The club lights were very bright. I raised my head, squinting against the light, and looked at Mon Q. "Are you beautiful?" "Yes," Mon Q's smile became more mischievous. "I heard you're staying at Long Hee's place these days. My nature is very good, and I know how to take care of others. I'm also beautiful. So what do you think? Come with me." My head started spinning again. I pressed my hands against my head to keep myself conscious. My voice was very weak. "Miss is very good." As soon as I said this, I regretted it. There was no strength in those words. My foolish self didn't even know how to give a proper compliment. She didn't take advantage of my weakness to trouble me. She punished those who had tormented me. She was very kind. She never found fault in me, but instead lovingly chose clothes for me. Hearing this, anyone's heart would melt, and Kong Long Hee had also arrived searching for me. She had seen Mon Q doing this with me, and her face turned red with anger. She shouted,
"Leave him." "Oh, it seems you haven't fully won his heart yet. Look, he can even raise his hand to hit someone. Just look, Kong Long Hee didn't use any force at all." I was always trying to make myself stronger. My mind was very confused and I didn't know what to say. I didn't pay attention to Mon Q's words. Only Kong Long Hee's sweet voice echoed in my ears. When we reached home, I fell asleep due to exhaustion. She told the servants to carry me to the room. When she was about to call someone to clean my face, there was a knock at the door from Than Sang. "Miss, everything has been found out." After hearing the whole story, Kong Lang Hee's face turned cold as ice and she pressed her lips together. She silently watched me sleeping and her brows furrowed. Than had to face such a big trouble, yet he didn't say a word to me. His silence truly heartbreaking. "Miss, should I go and give them a warning?" "There's no need. Warning through words alone has no effect. Those animals need to feel the consequences of their mistakes." When I opened my eyes again, the afternoon had passed. I gently massaged my heady head. Lately, I had been sleeping too much. I felt like I was losing a lot of time in my life. I came down the stairs and saw that Kong Ling Hee wasn't home. Manager Uncle Tron was standing in the hall. Seeing me, he stepped forward and said respectfully, "Mr. So, Miss has gone out for some work. Before leaving, she instructed me to take special care of you. Then I'll have to trouble Uncle Tron a little. Now I understand why Miss likes you so much." Uncle Tron had spent more than half his life in this world and seen countless people, but finding a well-mannered and cultured young man like you in today's world is rare, and your simplicity and straightforwardness are completely genuine. Does Miss really like me that much? I've never seen Miss worry so much about anyone. He led me toward the backyard. There, under a tree, a comfortable lounge chair was placed. "Go, sit on it and see." Absolutely, this corner was specially designed by Miss herself with her own hands, just for you. Specially for me. But the very next moment, my past inferiority complex overwhelmed me again. My eyes became sad again, and I thought to myself, how can someone as ordinary as me get such importance? Uncle Tron must just be saying sweet things to make me feel good. Uncle Tron read my heart in one glance. He wanted to comfort me, but then he thought that it should be Miss herself who explains this to Don, so he changed the topic. Miss was very mischievous and smart in childhood. Her nature was very active, too. She used to love cute things back then. She took excellent care of all the pets and animals in the house. I was listening to his stories very attentively. Meanwhile, the sound of a car horn echoed from outside the gate. It seemed people had come from the main house. "It looks like they've come to take you to the main house. Whatever they say, just make decisions with your own wisdom." "Yes, okay. Thank you, Uncle Tron, for reminding me." Seeing this, Uncle Tron felt a slight panic. He immediately informed Miss Konglang He, "Miss, Mr. So has been taken away by Grandma's men." I had already heard that the family was the biggest and wealthiest in this city. Their background was very strong, and their business was spread worldwide. Even Konglang He, whom people didn't consider important in this family, had such a magnificent villa. I thought the main house would be even more luxurious and grand, but I was surprised to see the old and traditional palace-like house in front of me. "Mr. So, we've arrived." My heart was beating very fast. I asked the man if Miss was also coming, but he didn't answer me. I felt a little uncomfortable. I lowered my head and silently followed the woman who was guiding me. "Grandma, he's here." The guiding woman said this and stepped aside. Complete silence filled the courtyard. I stood at the door. My heart was pounding. I took a deep breath and calmed myself. At this moment, I had come here as Konglang He's fiancé. I must not appear weak, and I must not do anything that would disgrace her. I don't know how much time passed. "Come in." At the very end of that hall was a prayer room. Grandma was sitting right in the middle chanting mantras. I saw an empty cushion placed nearby. I slowly stepped forward and knelt down, but there was no carpet on the floor, just very rough and hard tiles. I was completely unprepared for this. As soon as my knees touched the floor, the hardness made my legs go numb and caused sharp pain. I gritted my teeth and tried to keep myself straight. Earlier, when I lived with my grandmother, she would often punish me by making me sit in the prayer room and write religious texts. Slowly, I had memorized all those mantras. Now, to distract myself from the unbearable knee pain, I started reciting those mantras silently. Meanwhile, Grandma's attention wasn't fully on the prayer either. She was continuously watching me with her sidelong eyes. Even the toughest servants couldn't last long on such rough ground, but this boy hadn't moved an inch. There wasn't even a wrinkle on his face. "You have a lot of patience." Grandma stopped chanting and slowly opened her eyes. "Actually, the boy we wanted to bring here was the eldest son of the Hua family, but through deception he was sent in your place. Tell me, what punishment should the Hua family receive?" "Whatever punishment it is, for the Hua family it will be complete destruction. After that day, I became Konglang He's man, and I no longer have any relation with the Hua family." But still, a slight pang arose in my heart. I had always considered the Hua family mine. I compromised at every turn and endured oppression, but in return I only got disrespect, false accusations, and betrayal. I directly faced Grandma's scrutinizing gaze. "You're far more interesting than I thought. Well, now you can stand up." I understood that I had passed the first test. I thought perhaps by mistake he had gotten a soft cushion, which is why this boy was sitting so calmly, but I had no idea he was silently bearing the pain while gritting his teeth.
This boy is sensible, he has the strength to endure, and his nature is also good. With a little training, he can be assigned bigger tasks. Child, why are you so stubborn? If you couldn't bear it, you should have said so directly. If something happened to you, Ling He would come and create a scene in my house. I hid the sadness in my eyes and answered very honestly. It was my mistake, I didn't think properly. Seeing my straightforwardness, she thought I could be easily controlled. To be honest, you had to marry Lang He in the place of that Hua family boy. This is a great betrayal against you. Miss is very good. Good, that girl has no right to any of the family property. Even though outsiders say she has big contacts, in reality they're all ordinary and useless people who can't stand in front of us. She has no status compared to her elder sister. Miss is very good to me. How about we make a deal? You come to my side and I'll get you your rights and revenge from the Hua family. Besides that, my other daughter has a lot of business and property. If you agree, I promise you'll live a life of complete luxury and never have to worry about anything. In her eyes, I was the best means to control Kong Lang He, so the offer she made was quite big. At least, that's how it seemed to her. Grandma, now that I'm Mrs. Man, my heart will always beat for the family. That means for you too, Grandma. She knew well that Kong Lang He and she had a 36-point difference. This boy was clearly pretending to be ignorant, but his innocent face confused even her. She was about to shout in anger when suddenly I clutched my chest and started breathing very heavily. He must be acting. Miss, you can't go in. Just then, Kong Lang He entered through the door. She saw me falling to the ground and then looked at Grandma with extreme anger and hatred. Why did you call Thon alone to the main house? How could I be so stupid to allow you to test Thon? Why didn't I come first and take him back myself? If anything happens to him, I won't spare anyone. Don't make big claims. I also want to see how much strength you have. Well, it seems this boy is very important to you. When someone wants to protect someone more than their own life, their steps become bound, and such a person becomes even easier to control.
The situation at the hospital wasn't good. The doctor said a strange toxic energy had been accumulating in his body for several days, which suddenly came out today. Calm down. This problem isn't from today, and it's not that the old woman did something. Sleeping continuously for many days and feeling exhausted, these were the early symptoms. Even though this attack seems serious, it's not life-threatening. Perhaps he's been sleepy and lost these past few days, so no one noticed. This negative pressure weakened him internally, which has now fully come out. The good thing is his physical structure is very special and his heart is very strong, which saved his main system. The negative pressure is gradually disappearing on its own and the danger is past. On the medical bed, I lay completely still, as if in a deep sleep. Thon, you are a very big mischief maker. You quietly stole my heart. Mancha Gaya entered the room with medical reports. What's the real reason? I haven't been able to fully determine it yet. I'm just prescribing some supportive medicines. We'll have to monitor it gradually. Kong Lang He furrowed her brows. Can't you even find out? Yes, it's indeed very strange. I don't understand. Kong Lang He took a deep breath. Whatever it is, you have to get to the root of it. If needed, take your professor's help. I can't leave any threat in Thon's body. I can't take the risk of losing him. Kong Lang He, are you really the same girl? You know very well. Silence fell over the room once again. Kong Lang He sat on the edge of the bed, and her loving gaze fixed on my sleeping face. Thon, are you a trouble for me or the cure for all my pain? After a while, she got up and left the room. Make complete preparations. Within the next 10 days, our entire plan must be activated. Miss, you said you should wait a little longer. Can't wait any longer. The earlier Kong Lang He might have stepped back and endured, but now behind me is someone I have to protect at all costs. When my eyes opened, I looked at the ceiling. After thinking for a while, I realized I was back at Kong Lang He's villa, lying on that familiar and warm bed. I turned and saw Kong Lang He sleeping deeply beside me. Her eyes were closed, and her face, which was always full of anger and tension, was now completely calm. I very carefully reached my hand and gently touched a strand of hair scattered on her forehead. Thon! I panicked and pulled my hand back, and a sharp pain shot through my body. She was just mumbling in her sleep. I gazed at that beautiful face of Kong He. Her loving voice echoed in my ears. I quickly got up, went to the washroom, and splashed cold water on my face. Thon, come to your senses. Earlier, I was too sensitive. I made mistakes and always lived in fear. But since I met Kong Lang Hee, a desire has awakened in my heart, something that was a very big thing for me. She's so bright and perfect. How could I ever be worthy of her? Lost in these thoughts, my foot almost got entangled in the pile of clothes nearby. Perhaps when she came back last night, she was so tired that she just threw her clothes on the floor. Miss is more lovely than I thought. I bent down to pick something that had fallen from her coat pocket. Just then, Kong Wang Hee's eyes suddenly opened from deep sleep. She looked at me with drowsy eyes. As per my habit, I immediately hid both hands behind my back. What are you hiding behind your back? I'm not hiding anything. If it were anyone else who hid things from me or lied to me, I would never forgive them. But before Thon, my heart melts. She stood up and came very close to me. I couldn't muster the courage to look directly into her eyes and held that thing tightly in my fist. But the more I tried to hide it, the more excited Kong Lang Hee became to know what it was that Thon was lying to her about. She extended her clean hand towards me. Take it out. If you don't show me, I'll have to snatch it myself. That wasn't my intention. I slowly brought my hand forward. Opening my fist, I saw there was a small square box. As soon as Kong Lang Hee saw it, her face turned red with embarrassment. This was the same thing that Manhwa had secretly put in her pocket during the party. At that time, without looking, she had put it in her coat, and she had no idea it would fall and be found by Thon. This was a really strange situation. These small things often fall. Should I keep it for you? Seeing my serious face, a beautiful smile appeared on Kong Wang Hee's face, and she quickly took that thing from my hand. I'm not used to keeping such things with me. She said this very seriously, but my mind was spinning. I didn't know if I was feeling jealous or something else. Just unintentionally, it slipped out of my mouth. Carrying such things while going out makes a person feel safe. Kong Lang Hee mischievously asked me back, "What do you mean by saying that?" Yes, as soon as I heard it, I realized I'd said the wrong thing. Kong Lang Hee's face turned a little red and she covered my eyes with her hand. "Thon, what were you trying to say?" I thought for a while and then said, "Miss, I'm sorry. These days my mind isn't working properly and I say things without thinking." There was clear regret in my voice. Kong Lang Hee removed her palm. "Never mind, sleep a little more to regain your energy." She reached out and gently stroked my head. "If you keep sleeping, you'll become a fool. What then?" Kong Lang Hee smiled softly. "Never mind, we'll fix it slowly. When the negative pressure completely leaves Thon's body, I'll ask Manchagaya to prescribe some good tonics and medicines. Come here, let me put medicine on your wounds." "You're really a fool. Doesn't it hurt? After getting so injured, don't go out of the house for the next few days. Bear with it a little." Her way of applying medicine was very delicate and loving. A strange feeling came to my heart. I slowly got up and sat with support from her shoulder. "What happened?" "Kong Lang Hee, thank you, because you're so good and you deserve that I treat you well. Now sleep, we have a lot of work to do tomorrow." A very cold and sharp spark appeared in Kong Lang Hee's eyes for a moment. I lay back down on the bed and fell into a deep sleep. When Kong Lang Hee was fully sure I was sleeping, she changed her clothes and left the room. "Miss, we are ready to leave." Darkness was slowly falling outside, and in my dreams there was only a deep and terrifying darkness. A small, weak boy was huddled in a corner of the room, trembling with fear, not even having the courage to make a small sound. This was from when I was 8 years old, when people troubled me and oppressed me. The woman's face is now blurred, but that strange smell from her body is still clearly remembered, which scared me to the core. Suddenly, a phone ringtone woke me up. I sat up with a start. Holding my chest, I breathed heavily. "Thon, I've snuck out. Haha, I'm coming to meet you." I quickly put on my clothes and headed to a bar in the street according to the note. It was a legal and reputable bar. The board outside said, "Minors not allowed." "I'm sorry, I'm already an adult." I looked down at my clothes. These were the same clothes Kong Lang Hee had selected for me. Wearing such classic clothes to a bar felt a little strange. If I had known Hua Kit was calling me to such a place, I would never have worn these clothes here. "You look like a high school student. Go back. This place is quite strange, not suitable for a simple person like you." I had to show my ID card to the muscular bouncer. He took it and looked at it several times. His eyes widened because I really was an adult. He scratched his head and looked at me a little embarrassed. "Okay, go inside, but if someone forces you to drink, don't even touch it. And if there's any problem, shout loud. I'll come in immediately." I looked at that man and a strange warmth arose in my heart.
In this world, some people look very good and cultured, but are actually very arrogant, and some people look rough and scary, but have a pure and kind heart. Thank you. He looked at my back with a slightly worried gaze. As soon as I entered, I felt some strange gazes coming towards me. Thon, Kwa Kit, he was sitting in a corner, waving for me. I walked quickly towards him. Oh God, why are you always so shy and scared? Anyway, today your mental condition seems quite good, and it looks like your weight has also increased a bit. These days when eating with Kong Lang He, she force feeds me a little more, but no one gains weight that quickly. This is my first time at a bar. To be honest, I've wanted to come here for a long time, but as soon as my results came, my family forced me to go to boarding school. You have no idea how strict the teachers are. I have to wake up before the roosters, sleep later than the dogs, and eat like a pig. Thon, I'm honestly jealous of you. You cleared the entrance exam for such a top university. Saying this, he looked at me in a very secretive way. I've prepared a gift for you. I came to my senses. It was a bank card containing his pocket money. My mom said if I agreed to go to boarding school and pass, she would give me this money. As soon as I got this card, they sent me to school the next day. I never got a chance to give it to you. He took a sip of water and pretended to be very normal, but I knew that someone as free and spoiled as him adopting to the strict rules of a boarding school was only because he truly considered me his real brother. I pushed the bank card back towards him. Thon Kit, Mrs. promised to pay my college fees. Thank you for this gift. So my effort went wasted? Anyway, who is this Miss? Just then, a woman came to our table. Hello, handsome, can I sit here? Hua Kit, without showing any interest, said angrily, I'm sorry, there's no space here. Tonight I'm not in the mood for charity, and I'm not interested in women like you. It's better that you leave. We have work. Handsome, what's the hurry? We have a special drink at the bar. Would you like to try it? You should never touch such strange drinks. I'm sorry, but we don't drink alcohol. This isn't alcohol. It's a special fresh juice from our bar. It tastes very good. Try it once. We don't need it. Please leave. Handsome, you can't decide whether you need it or not. I became very nervous and looked around. I was thinking whether I could escape with Hua Kid. No, we don't need it. Don't you understand human language? As soon as she extended the glass towards us, I grabbed Hua Kit's hand and pulled him backward. Two big bouncers standing nearby immediately came towards us and surrounded us. The woman's attitude is quite sharp. Take both of them inside. The crowd slowly started moving towards us. Hua Kit was a bit arrogant by nature, but in the face of real thuggery, even he panicked. Because of facing such a situation for the first time, my mind went completely blank. Kit, run! I grabbed his hand and we started running with all our might. You can't escape from us. People kept chasing us from behind. Even though I didn't know that woman, I was very familiar with the fear she had given me. Those terrifying memories from 10 years ago started echoing in my mind, and I just wanted to run away like a madwoman. Finally, our path was blocked. My first reaction was to protect Hua Kid, but he showed more agility than me and positioned himself as a shield in front of me. He was truly a loyal friend. The next moment, those people caught both of us, and I was completely helpless. Those terrifying childhood memories started swimming in my mind again. What can you do in life? You can't protect anything. You only know how to live on others' sympathy. Why are you even alive in this world? Suddenly, a sharp voice rang out. I told you if there's any problem, shout. Through Lua. Through Lua's voice was like a message from God at that moment. Meanwhile, in another basement room, when Kong Long He found out that woman had the audacity to cast her evil eye on Thon, her anger reached the seventh sky. Long He, we have the evidence. Hand it over to the police so that woman gets strict punishment according to the law. Miss, how did this commotion happen inside? Can't you people handle even such a small matter properly? These are Mok Aang Gok's people. Hearing this, Inner's face turned pale. How can there be a fight between our people and Mok Aang Gok's men? Suddenly, remembering Mok Aang Gok's cruel face, she started trembling. Long He, please save me. Mok Aang Gok is a cruel person. He can do anything without reason. No one wants to mess with these people. So I requested Kong He to come with me so I could get some courage. This isn't called being a coward. This is called using the right power at the right time. I heard all this happen because of those two women. Through Lua himself came forward and calmed the situation. Through Von's age is nearly 50 now. Why doesn't he stay away from these things?
He has a favor on me, so I can't ignore this. Why is this lift so slow today? I supported Hukid and we very carefully walked toward the door. All this happened because of me. In trying to save me, Hukid twisted his foot and got sprained. Suddenly, a hand firmly grabbed my wrist. I froze completely. I turned my head and saw Kung Lang Hee standing in front of me, with clear anger and concern in her eyes. Come with me. Outside, heavy rain was falling, soaking me in an instant. Kung Lang Hee opened the car door and shouted a little angrily, "Get in the car quickly." My entire body was wet and I was afraid of dirtying her car, so I deliberately sat in a corner of the seat. Kung Lang Hee silently turned on the car heater. She is truly a foolish woman. Outside the window, I saw Tru Vaughn putting Hu Kid in his car. Perhaps he was taking him to the hospital. I really wanted to go with him and see his condition, but just then, Kung Lang Hee coldly ordered the driver, "Driver, drive." When we reached home, Kung Lang Hee saw my completely soaked clothes. She stepped forward and forcefully removed them and threw them into a corner. They've become very dirty. These were the same clothes she had lovingly chosen for me. Did she hate me now? I must obey every word of hers. I don't want Miss to push me away from her. Go take a shower. It was difficult to guess her feelings from her calm voice. Like a lifeless puppet, I silently went into the washroom and stood under the water until it became cold. Isn't your shower over yet? Do you want to get sick? I wore the night suit the servants had kept for me and came out very hesitantly. Why did you go to the bar? And doesn't this fool even know how to dry his hair? I panicked and tried to explain. The address was sent by Hu Kid. I didn't know it was a bar before going. I didn't know this city center address and house number. After reaching, I felt something was wrong, but I couldn't leave Hu Kid alone and come back. Our Tru Vaughn has many people who care about him. First Man Q and now this Hu Kid. She extended her palm toward me. I hesitantly went closer to her, and she pulled me into an embrace. Her hug instantly warmed my cold body. My body was completely stiff in her arms, but Kung Lang Hee very relaxedly took out a hairdryer from the drawer. Sit quietly, don't move. She very patiently and somewhat awkwardly started drying my hair. Seeing my scared face, she smiled softly. Suddenly, some blurry memories flashed through her mind like lightning. A small child was running in the heavy rain. She felt an unbearable, sharp pain in her head. Miss, what happened to you? Shh, don't make noise. Kung Lang Hee gently rested her head on my shoulder. Due to that special feeling from my body, her headache gradually decreased. She was always a quiet girl, but at this moment she looked very troubled. But Tru Vaughn is truly the best cure for all my troubles. Go to sleep. There was still restlessness in my heart, but I couldn't stop the sudden deep sleep and fell asleep very quickly. Tru Vaughn, what kind of things have you gone through in your past? Well, never mind. Now I don't need to search your past. I've truly surrendered before you. Tomorrow is the engagement party. I've set the whole plan, now just waiting for that drama to start. By the time all this was done, it was midnight. As soon as Kung Lang Hee sent the email and turned around, she saw my face completely red. My breath was very fast, and she felt something wrong. She put her hand on my forehead. He has a very high fever. Hearing this, Manchagaya ran to the villa. How did this happen? I already warned you that until the negative pressure completely leaves his body, you need to take special care of him. Kung Lang Hee held my hand firmly. There was clear regret and pain in her eyes. There's a reason behind this. Manchagaya looked at my condition and sighed coldly. She took out her medical tools and started checking me, but when she was taking my blood sample, Kung Lang Hee's eyes fixed on the blood tube. Seeing her expression, Manchagaya asked, "What happened? Don't you find something strange about it?" Manchagaya looked at the tube carefully. After a long observation, she said, "Strange? What's strange about it?" Kung Lang Hee said very confidently, "His blood is very different from normal people." Manchagaya checked the tube against the light. The flow and structure of his blood are indeed not like ordinary people. This is quite surprising. I'll do a lab test, but this information must not get out to anyone.
Did you find out anything about those people who were secretly plotting against us? Not yet. Most of my people are still out of the country. It'll take time to call them back. Otherwise, I would have dragged those traitors out long ago. Then why didn't you ask me for this work? Those people are always free, especially Muktu too. She is determined to completely destroy my house. Good friends are used in such difficult situations, but why do you always put me forward for this work? Well, I'm keeping these medicines here. Give this medicine tomorrow. His physical structure is quite different, so it might take time for him to recover. Wait a moment, now what? Your headache again? I have to admit, you two are truly made for each other. You both chose the same time to get sick. Kung Lang He looked at her angrily. What did you remember this time? Kung Lang He squinted her eyes, trying to recall that memory. A small child in torn old clothes was walking in the heavy rain, and there was something in his hand. Anything else? That's it. I don't know who that child was, what place it was, or what happened there. Last time I checked you, your body was completely normal and there's no problem with your mental condition. So could it be that you've completely forgotten some important event of your past? You mean that was some event of my past that I've forgotten? No, I could never forget something like that. Lang He, no person in this world can remember every small detail of their past. Kung Lang He remained silent. This was the first time she doubted herself. Could she have unknowingly lost a very important part of her past?